the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's ubnradio.com.
Hey, everybody, it is Wednesday, November the 11th. I'm Emerson Collins, and you're listening to The Dell and Emerson Show. Woo. Straight talk. Real gay! That's my favorite part. It never gets old when I get to play like both roles. I get to be like mask for mask and femme for femme all in a row. Yes, I am Victor and Victoria. It is my story. Obviously, you can tell Del Shores is out of town. We'll chat with him in just a moment. He is in San Antonio teaching and seeing sorted lives and doing fun things, which means it's time for the Gay View. And so returning to our panel for discussion this week, Mr. Blake McIver.
Hello, Emerson Collins.
Well, hi, Blake. How are you?
I'm just, doing great.
Do you like it when we do this part like we don't see each other all the time? Like we didn't just live tweet the People's Couch together last night and then go out.
We don't live literally 2 blocks away from each other.
With Brandy and Julie and Matthew Scott Montgomery is joining us today.
What's going on, everybody? God, the audience is so excited for us today.
Actor, director, producer, writer, and he lives 2 blocks away as well.
It's
so
true.
We're totally pretending like we didn't ride here together and we haven't seen each other. Matthew, what's been going on with you?
I'm mourning the loss of Halloween.
For those of you who don't
As I
know,
do.
Matthew has a gift. I was going to say a problem, but let's call it a gift.
It's a spiritual gift.
For the spirit of Halloween.
Yeah.
Spiritual gift.
Which means that November the 1st, I always like worry about him a little bit.
Listen, I'm getting so much better at it. In fact, I've turned November into calling it Yes-Vember, which you say yes to anything that anyone
Yes.
asks you. Troublesome, I know.
Yeah.
But it's Yes-Vember. And
Yeah.
also, I did a Harry Potter movie marathon on the first day of November.
Good
to
choice.
ease
Good
the
choice.
blow of
That helps,
Halloween.
that helps.
Good.
And it's becoming a tradition. So I have more and more things to look forward to about Yes-Vember.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes,
Yes,
Vember. I mean,
Vember.
let's push it all the way, as
Yeah,
Blake
should.
said. Blake,
Yeah.
Blake coined that earlier. Yes, Vember.
Yes, you did. That's you.
I'm a little bit meh Vember. I'm like, maybe I'll say yes to you. I'll say yes to
Meh.
you. But how was your Halloween? Did you do exciting things?
It was good.
You produced a show.
I did. I did a show called Spook Night, which is the 3rd year we've done it. It's kind of like Goosebumps on stage for 20-somethings.
Yes.
You guys in the audience made
And
me
it was
so happy.
amazing.
Yeah, we had another sold-out run, and so we'll probably do it again next year, and I'm missing it. I got to get back on stage soon. I'm going a little stir-crazy.
Yeah, what's that like? I realized the other day I haven't been on a stage since April with Buyer and
haven't?
Seller.
Oh,
Wow.
Well, it's like the crazy trade-off of doing our reality show and a radio show, and
you
we're
were
producing
so great
a
in that
very
show,
sort of
Emerson.
wedding.
God, that was so fantastic.
And I'm excited. I get to do it again next year, but I'm like,
yeah,
girls, I'm an actress first.
I know.
Right.
So I got to remember that
SOML,
sometimes.
story of my life.
Yes.
I get it.
Well, so it is the Gay View, and super exciting. We have lots of fun and ridiculous topics to share with all of you. Let's see if we can get Del Shores on the phone. And you also did a haunted house.
I did.
yeah.
I was one of the creative directors on a haunted house called Creep LA, which was downtown, and we just, according to creepyla.com, don't confuse with creepyla.com, were awarded best scare actors in Los Angeles for this Halloween.
Amazing.
And second best haunt, which is incredible because it's the first year
Wow.
that we ever did it.
Yeah.
So it looks like we'll be doing that again next year as well.
Oh, well, hello, Del Shores.
Hello.
Hey, Del.
I'm watching you. Oh, I had to turn you down.
How do we look? I mean, that's the important part.
You look amazing, all of you. Hair and makeup did a fantastic
Thanks.
job.
Thanks,
especially
thanks.
I'm pretty
Blake,
scruffy.
it got it very high. I love it.
Yeah.
You obviously, Emerson did not get the plaid memo.
I didn't. I'm serving you a
True,
plain,
it's
red,
true.
strong
Yeah.
color choice moment.
Yeah.
It's a Starbucks shirt.
So, yes, it totally is. This is a I Hate Christmas shirt.
Yep, the war on Christmas.
Very good, Del.
Um,
Very good.
You're in San Antonio.
I am. It's so funny. I just did a radio show as a guest here.
What was that like?
Oh.
It was. I think I overwhelmed them. I sort of just took over.
Shocking.
I-
I feel like all of our listeners are surprised by that.
But y'all, I couldn't say fuck, so I have to say it a lot
you
right
couldn't?
now. Fuck,
Oh.
fuck, 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 fuck.
Calm
There we
down,
go.
Lavonda.
My mother
There
just
it
stopped
is.
listening,
There
I
it
think,
is.
just now. Yeah.
Good job, Lavonda. Well, so what have you done
It
so
was
far?
Student radio.
What were you? What's the San Antonio story?
Well, I got here and went right to my hotel and then to the campus to do the radio show, and it was so cool because I got to see the stage for Sorted Lives and got to meet all the young people playing the characters.
Oh
my God.
I love that.
Did the show with Brother Boy, and I met Sissy, who's about 19. And I'm
hilarious.
so
Amazing.
excited. They're so nervous and excited, and I'm very excited to see their production. I'm teaching class tomorrow and the next day.
Amazing.
And then I'm going to see Friday night their show of
Wow.
Sorted Lives.
Friday the
Aw,
13th.
That's so cool.
That's so
Just saying.
great. I love
And
that.
then, of course, I have to plug my shit, so I'll be at the Woodlawn Theater doing, a show that I can say fuck in many, many times, Singularly Sorted on Saturday night, and then in Austin at Rain on 4th, the club, and I will be there at 9 o'clock on Sunday night doing my show, and that's what I'm doing here.
Yay!
Yeah.
Well,
Hooray.
good. We'll have so much fun. San Antonio, go see the Alamo. Take a little moment, make
I'm
some
right
friends.
by the Alamo.
Oh,
Remember
good.
it. Don't
okay,
forget
I
it.
have
Remember
to
it.
ask, y'all are smarter than me, so I have to ask you
Yes.
a question.
Emerson is.
I'm right by the Alamo. It says, remember the Alamo, and it's Veterans Day. Would they be veterans or no? Because they were just the only veterans after that?
Well, first of
I
all,
mean-
they're all dead. So,
But you remembered them, and that's what counts.
Yes, they were and are veterans. You can be a veteran of any war, any conflict, any military service.
Okay.
There are veterans
well, I
on
was
both the winning and
celebrating them.
losing side of wars. Yes.
Okay, I took a moment there because I'm a Texan, and
Good for
we
you.
stole Texas from Mexico. It was a great moment.
Good.
And you didn't forget.
Well, fantastic. Well, have a great time. We're gonna let you go because I lost all of my Periscope viewers because they can't hear you.
Okay, listen. Thank you, boys, for taking over, and
Always.
I will see you when I get back.
And Dell will
fun,
be back
Del.
next week
Bye,
to
Del.
share
Love
stories
you.
with us.
Bye.
Yes, bye.
Bye. All right, getting on to the news. This week, flashing through the gay news, equality update. To start quickly, President Obama officially endorsed the Equality Act, which is very exciting. Obviously, it's facing an uphill battle in the Republican-controlled Congress to include protection that we talked about in public accommodations, education, employment, housing, federal funding, jury service, legal protections, and credit, everything and include all of LGBT people. So it's very exciting. And related to that, he is on the cover of The Advocate, the first sitting president ever
That's right, I saw
to
that.
be photographed specifically for an LGBT publication as the Ally of the Year. So that's really exciting.
Okay.
And we're going to do this super fast because after Halloween, I swore I'd never talk about her again. But Kim Davis was denied an appeal this week. That's exciting. There's a new Kentucky governor who said he's going to take their names off of the licenses. Good, we don't care. Just do your job.
She said yesterday.
The important part of this story is that the couple who fought Kim Davis, those two guys that made
Yeah.
like the 4 videos that went
Yeah.
viral
Yeah.
to help get the story out there so that everyone could understand what was happening, finally got married in an official ceremony.
Yay.
David
There we
Ermold
go.
and David Moore. I love that. David and
The
David.
Davids.
That's cute.
They were married at Moorhead State University. David and David, the same-sex marriage plaintiffs, got married at Moorhead University.
it.
Uh-huh.
Like, gentlemen, I love your sense of humor.
I thought for
in
a
every
second
way.
we were going to gloss over it, but
You
no.
can't write this.
no,
I
not
know.
here.
Then I
Right.
realized where I was. Yeah.
The two got married in a quick private ceremony after they got their license, worried it would get revoked, but then this larger ceremony was for friends and family. So congratulations
Aw,
to them,
yay.
and thank you for being such a big part of your personal journey, being a part of telling the story
Yeah.
of this hateful, bigoted woman. And that's
Hateful.
all we're going to say about
Hateful.
her.
Bye.
Just hate-
Bless her bigoted heart.
Yeah. We're praying for her.
All right, to the actual gay news. The Out 100 came out this week. Do you read this list?
I know some of the people that were on the list just because I can
I-
name drop friends of mine and I saw on my Twitter timeline.
I read it every year because it's always been interesting to me, very young in my process. It was very exciting to look up at these people that were like bravely out and publicly successful in various industries.
Yeah.
And so every year I always find the list really interesting. Obviously you can argue and quibble with any list.
Right.
But it's also, for a couple of years, it sort of seemed to get to where like 40 or 50 of them, it was like, Anderson Cooper, Adam Lambert, like the people that we know, they're
Yeah.
great and they're wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, this year it seems, no, they didn't say this, but it seems like they took a very different approach to the list, and I want to talk about it because I found it really exciting. There was a big balance this year between people that are activists and working actively on behalf of the LGBT community, whether as attorneys, as activists, as politicians, as digital media activists, and people that are celebrities who, through their visibility, contribute to the LGBT community.
Right.
It's a much more balanced list between the two, and I found that really exciting because
Yeah.
it's great that we have out celebrities, but there's a difference between the ones who are like, I'm a successful entertainer who happens to be LGBT, and people that like really actively promote and give back to the community. I think both are important.
Yeah.
So I'm not
Right.
saying that is a huge thing. Like having Ellen and Anderson and Adam and those people out
Totally,
there,
but it's nice
that's
to have a
enough.
balance.
Like I don't need more
Yeah.
from them. Like that is enough.
Yeah.
But it's great to also learn the names of, because this year there were a lot of people on the list. I was like, oh yeah, I know about that. I learned a lot reading
Right.
this list, which I found exciting. There's
Yeah.
finally more than 100 successful LGBT people. Like
That we can actually
there's
choose.
choices.
Yeah.
It's like 103 or 104.
Yes. So I'll give you some of the list, and then I want to know if they're like who would be on your list, just from like life, pop culture, whatever you love, like people that it's like they would be on your Out 100 that might not be on the list. Of course, from the year, we have Caitlyn Jenner and Jim Obergefell, the two sort of biggest, I think, newsworthy moments of the year. Some standards, Lily Tomlin, Cynthia Nixon, Tab Hunter, because his documentary's out this year, Lee Daniels, Jerry Mitchell, Belle Condon, the producer, director, of course. Peter Nowalk is new, the producer and creator of How to Get Away with Murder, and I love that.
Oh.
Raven Simone was a little controversial for some people.
She's LGBT though.
And I also go to
just because she's inherently
messy
controversial?
sometimes. But I love that. But I think that that's part of it is that we no longer have to expect our LGBT, people to be perfect examples, to be perfect standard bearers. I sort of love that she's messy. She's not always right, but she's opinionated, and I think that's a accomplishment as well. That you can be that successful as LGBT and you don't have to pretend to be perfect. You can be like, well, this is what I think, and you don't have to like it.
Right. Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to carry the whole community on my shoulders.
Yeah.
I don't have to represent you.
Yeah, yeah.
So I love that. The actors, of course, Alex Newell, which I love. Johnny Beauchamp, who's from Penny Dreadful. He was also in... what was that movie nobody saw? Stonewall.
Oh.
What was that?
I need to watch Penny Dreadful. I feel like
Oh my God, you would
it's so
love
good.
it. It's so your thing.
I know. I will. I will, Johnny.
Andy Mientus, Danny Francesi, Russell Tovey, Ben Bauer was very exciting.
Yeah.
The Hunting Ground web series.
Yeah.
And the musicians, there were a bunch I didn't know. Of course, Troy. What's this? You're the one. Troy Sivan.
Troy Sivan.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
That extra E confuses me. I just want to say it wrong.
God, I'm such a huge fan of his. That was so exciting.
Ollie Alexander, who's like an electropop Euro. Jess Glenn, Andrzej Pejic, the trans model.
I'm obsessed with.
Yes.
I've been following her on Instagram. I am so obsessed with her. God, she's gorgeous.
But then there was a huge contingent of what I called sort of organizer activists. They had better titles for it. But you have Alicia Garza, DeRay McKesson, who's the huge Black Lives Matter activist who's also gay. And so he talks a lot about the intersection of the two movements.
Yeah.
The Syrian refugee, Subi Hahas, Raymond Braun, who's a YouTuber and digital content LGBT activist creator, Sarah Kate Ellis of GLAAD, Jose Antonio Vargas, and Mark Solomon. Like, there's incredible diversity of field in the list and really, really genuine, like racial and age and sexuality diversity, which is exciting. And some athletes, some great writers, Roxane Gay, who's a feminist that I adore, Ryan O'Connell, who's brilliant. He wrote about, he has cerebral palsy and he's gay and he's developing a series based on it with Jim Parsons.
Where have I been?
Oh, you would love it. You would love his book. Like,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
I need to do my research.
And then an enormous contingent of trans people, like of a wide variety. Bambi Salcedo, Candace Kane, of course, Jen Richards, who from I Am Kate, but she's also a writer. She's got a great new web series, I believe, called Herstory about dating as a trans woman. That's not about like, it's not any stereotypes. It's like being a real person.
I'm here for that.
Right.
Of course, Adian Dowling, from men's fitness competition. Opera singer Brianna Sinclair. Genesette Gutierrez is the Latina trans woman that we met at that Trans Lives Matter thing.
Name.
And the stars of Tangerine. And then there's a chef, interior designer, graphic designer, museum director, Food Network president, a meteorologist. Like, I was really impressed.
I need to do my homework, for my culture. This is...
It celebrates so much more of our culture than just simply entertainers or like politicians.
Right.
Those are important, but those people get covers.
The shiniest, prettiest.
They're already
magazine. They get stories written about them.
Yeah.
We know their stories.
Yeah.
And so I was really impressed. I really applauded them for the list this year.
Yes, Bamber.
Some people were upset that Roland Emmerich was on the list because everybody's still mad about Stonewall.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh.
But I was like, for better or for worse, he's a giant gay producer.
People always being mad at everything. Whatever.
In Hollywood. I found myself going, fewer times this year, and yes, more times.
There we go.
That's good.
And drag queens, Violet Chachki and Miss Fame both made the list.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
That's amazing. I'm falling
very
back in love with Miss Fame. Did you see her beat Willem's face recently?
Yes.
I love
she
her
looked gorgeous.
visually.
I texted Willem because I was like, oh my God.
But so, who in your personal, like, these are LGBT people that I don't know if Willem's ever been on the list, and that's surprising
I
to
don't
me.
think
That
so.
is surprising.
Because to me, it's like Violet, great, you won Drag Race this year, and like
Yeah,
Miss
yeah.
Fame's like cute in fashion, but I think when you
Right.
argue like influence of queens,
Yeah.
like you have Bianca, Courtney, and Willem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
You know, it might sound cheesy or obvious or something, or like I'm brown nosing, but I feel like Del. Do you know what I
He
mean?
has been before.
Oh, he has?
Yeah.
Well, I'm the worst then.
No, but it was years ago. It's funny because some people were on the list like year after year after year, and then
Yeah.
some people you have to have a great year.
Yeah.
I do always think, and like it's hilarious and it's true because of the nature of our culture, watching like the really smart, snarky comedian gays that I follow on Twitter and like the blogger gays, like the writer gays.
Yeah.
And I'm laughing because I'm like, there's a number of you I think should probably be on the list, and watching them all be like, another year, not on the list.
Yeah. No, I saw
I'm
some
like-
of those. I know who you're talking about.
Yes,
Yeah.
the one. But I'm also like, but it shouldn't be a competition. Like, it's
No.
not that kind of competition. Like,
It's a celebration.
Yes.
more than
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all, don't be silly.
Yeah.
They were like, what would your number be? I was like, well, if my number were my net worth, it would be a great number. Like where you would be on the list.
Yeah.
It's like way down there. Like
Yeah,
if it were
yeah.
a check, it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
All right. But I just thought it was fun, and I love that they celebrate
Yeah,
that.
I
I know like it's hard, and I can't imagine assembling it, and there's great
Oh,
in-depth
gosh,
articles.
yeah.
So if you
How'd you-
haven't
yeah.
seen it, do check it out, because I found myself informed about a number of people that
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with, that I was excited
Sure.
to know what they're doing for
need
our
to involve
community,
myself more.
or how they're serving as great examples of our community. So
Right.
go to Out Magazine and check it out. It's the
worth
big
a
banner
read.
on their
Yeah,
thing.
for sure.
And read through it. I find it inspiring that for young people in all fields, that it's not about celebrity simply. Sometimes it's just about what you do and doing it well,
Yeah.
and being able to be proudly yourself while you do it.
Yep.
All right, another silly pop culture news. The Finding Dory trailer came out.
Finally.
This does relate to LGBT news, and I'll tell you why.
Oh, does it?
Yes, because at one point, Dory says, in a like fever dream or something, hand me the ratchet wrench, I can fix it. And I was like,
Oh.
Dory's a lesbian.
Oh. Well, I mean, yes.
Like, we're subtexting like Ellen as Dory, like dreaming about power tools.
Emerson, I feel like that's reaching.
I mean, okay, maybe a little, but a little bit. It was like the clip they chose to release.
That's
was like
true.
Ellen the lesbian fish talking about tools.
Lesbian
That's
fish
true.
serving.
I mean, not
lesbian
to pander
fish
to
yeah,
honey.
serving fish, honey.
Not to pander to stereotypes or anything.
No, not at all.
but it
I
looked
mean,
cute. Yeah,
I had a sneak peek of the movie when I visited Pixar back in
Right.
January, but I like had to
Ooh.
sign a thing where I'm not allowed to talk about it. But I am allowed to say what I saw was amazing.
Yes.
and
Yes.
I can't wait. Oh man.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Love that. In other silly news, I know that you saw this, but you might not have seen it. Hillary Clinton.
I saw it.
My favorite thing of the week. It's my favorite thing of the week. It's the most like human moment that's ever happened for Hillary Clinton. Like
Yeah.
it could win her the election.
Yeah.
For those of you who missed it, Hillary Clinton, NBC News wrote a story about her and her campaign and how they eat a lot of pizza.
Uh-huh.
A lot of it. So Hillary, like you do, because she's like all on the social media, reaching the kids, retweeted the tweet and said, guilty as charged. Now, the problem is, and are you putting up this, did you put up this graphic so we can see it? That when she retweeted it, the tweet simply said, Hillary Clinton's campaign runs on pizza anal.
It's this amazing, perfect
Pizza,
thing that only
comma,
happens.
anal.
Yeah.
I mean...
Did you see the meme where I sent this to a couple of friends of mine? I didn't Instagram it, but I still might. Instead of Netflix and chill, it's pizza and anal. Did you see that?
Yes.
Oh,
I did see
so
that.
funny.
Because, like, who knew? I mean, hey, everybody's got their thing.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton, pizza and
Sure.
anal.
Yeah.
I don't know
Work
if they
hard,
should,
play
like,
hard.
if they should go together.
Yeah.
I just like that the emoji story was like the little.
Well, you
pizza
anal
slice
first,
and
then
the
it's
peach.
pizza, right?
Right.
That's what. Oh my gosh. Who? Dan. What's his face?
Fogelnest?
No, this is gonna.
Prince Hazy?
Oh my! I hope my friends.
Savage?
Yes, Dan Savage. That's what he always
We got there.
says. A friend of mine told me this. It's like if you're if you're like having a night, like a Netflix and chill night, you eat, go out. No, you have sex first, then you go out
Yes.
to eat. Yeah.
I like
never
kind
do
of
that.
take that approach to life anyway, because like that end of the night, like you're exhausted, somebody's a little drunk, whatever. I'm
Yeah.
a huge fan of like have sex and then like do your evening.
Yeah.
Like in between the day and the night.
Yeah.
It's such a good like
Smart.
it like cleans out the day.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, the day's done, and now it's like, yes, I'm ready for an evening.
Yeah. I gotta do better.
Just choices, options.
You know.
We'll just try different
There's
times.
sign.
yeah, for sure.
But I thought it was hysterical, and that her response was guilty as charged. Like it could not have been better.
yeah.
I was like,
Queen.
This is what we need.
Yeah.
She kind of needed a human moment.
Yes, member.
Yes.
All right, flashing on.
Just saying.
Clearing
make it
out the nonsense news, because you guys are so fun to do this with. You must have seen the Groupon for clip-on man
Can
buns.
I talk about this for a
yes,
second?
you can.
I
Matthew,
am
tell
like
us the story.
I'm like I try to say I try to say pretty positive and not use the word hate a whole lot. I
Right.
hate man buns so much, you guys.
It's okay.
I think it's like the least attractive thing that's ever happened, and like I'm so not on board for it, and I cannot wait for it to not be a thing that we're talking about. When I saw this, I was like, no, we were doing so well. No one had said anything about man buns for a while. Now this is happening. Damn it.
And you can get them for $9.99. Original price, this is the worst part.
What?
$65.
And they aren't even human hair. I don't understand.
It's some like polyester circle, like bump it. Boy, bump it.
well, you
As
know,
if
I've,
it couldn't get worse.
I've
for
done
me.
a lot of like wig work in my life.
Hashtag
and like,
wig work.
Yeah, and ooh, girl, that weave though.
Also, it's really gingerphobic because it only comes in black, brown, and blonde. Like
Wow.
a ginger can't have a man bun.
Wow.
It's kind of rude.
Rude.
I don't support this in any way.
Because like browns and blondes, you can sort of change the color to match yours a little bit if you like really wanted to, but you can't get to red.
this is
from
bleak.
that.
This
You
is
can't.
this is like joke Christmas present, and then
Oh,
that's it, and then
definitely.
we'll never have to talk again.
Here are the
promise.
Thousands have been sold already on
The
Groupon.
instructions are
Oh my god! I see this.
The
Okay.
instructions are exquisite. Number 1, comb your hair back toward the crown of your head in a similar motion to lacquering a reclaimed wood coffee table. 2, attach the man bun to your natural hair the way Lay Public attached itself to Arcade Fire.
Oh, okay.
3, use bobby pins to secure the man bun. Decide bobby pins are too mainstream. Use antique paper clips instead.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
I like the antique.
So,
paper.
like, they know that
That's
they're
a nice
the joke,
touch.
Right.
but they're still selling it, so it's not really a joke.
I guess people.
I'm
are
buying one.
If you give that to me,
Blake.
this will be over.
I
No,
know.
for myself. I'm not giving them as present.
No, that will be over. This will still be over.
Wow, you with a little bun like that.
Also, you know, my standard soapbox on this is that it's not a man bun, it's just a bun, right? Because, like, whether it's on a woman or a man, it's
oh
a
my
bun.
gosh,
Still a bun.
Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
just a bun on
and
a
a
boy.
braid, and a braid is a braid, not a,
A
man
braid, right.
braid.
What a
What?
what braid?
Man braid.
We've talked about it before, but this writer that I love, Elio Cruz, he's a bisexual
Yes.
I
I started
writer of
following him
faith.
after you told me about him. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
so great, but he made a whole Tumblr called Masculinity So Fragile, and it's literally full of these, like, why do you need a special man wipes, man bun, man, like,
Yeah.
what's the terror of it being associated with something that, like, women did first?
Intense terror.
You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, I have some real
Gingers
stories.
are exempt, so whatever.
I mean,
Well, maybe the gingers were just too smart. They were like, "Ooh, no,
That's probably
we're
it.
we
not
won't
doing
take
that.
it."
Yeah.
I mean, they
although
get
I'm sure you can find a Tumblr of ginger man buns.
Well, if I were a
Sure we
ginger, I
could.
would start it. I'd be like ginger pride. Like, why are man buns ginger phobic?
Yeah.
It's like Starbucks hates ginger man buns too.
They do.
That's my new answer to everything. Starbucks hates it.
Yeah.
Because that's clearly
Yep.
the thing we should assume from everything
That's
in
another
life.
thing. I
We're
think-
not falling down that rabbit hole because people are terrible.
No.
No.
It doesn't even deserve oxygen.
But I did tweet yesterday because I always get an ice drink. I was like, Starbucks hates me so much they won't even give me a red cup. And someone was like, isn't your drink ice? And I was like, I'm not explaining to you that was the point.
Oh,
Like, there's nothing worse than
bless.
making a dumb joke and having a dumber person not get it.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
You guys, you listeners know
It's
I'm a
almost
lot of
as
fun,
bad
but I'm
as
not
a man
necessarily a
bun.
nice person. All right, flashing on to actual like stories that are meaningful.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I love this story. Joel Andrew is a dance student. He came out to his parents at age 12 and was sent to Christian reparative therapy for weekly sessions. He tells the story that every night I would pray to God to make me straight. It didn't work. Well, at 18, he was accepted to Oklahoma City University's dance program. It's an incredibly prestigious dance program, one of the better ones in the country, a huge musical theater program there. And he
Oklahoma.
said his parents kicked him out of their home after he began dating a guy and refused to sign the student loan documents after he told them he wouldn't hide his sexuality. They also asked him to stop using their last name.
Ooh.
So that's the story. Can you imagine?
No.
6 years of reparative therapy, which is like amazing that he's a functional human being.
Yeah.
And you get accepted to one of the great dance programs in the country, which means
he's
you're an
obviously
amazing
talented.
dancer.
Yeah.
Like a So You Think You Can dancer.
That's really what a shame.
Well, silver lining, his dance teacher's daughter set up a GoFundMe page sharing his story with a goal of raising $6,500 that would pay for her first semester of college. Like,
wow.
great, you can pay for a semester, not have to worry about it. We'll figure it out after that.
Yeah.
Well, Dan Savage, who was one of my personal icons and heroes for his offensiveness and intelligence combined, heard about it and he shared it. They have raised over $60,000 to pay, and it will pay for all 4 years
Wow.
for
There you
Joel
go.
Andrew to dance his way through Oklahoma City.
That's
you go.
amazing.
Dancing
I
through
love
life.
that.
Dancing through
life.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's so great.
It is. It's
No, that
so
is
great.
And it's interesting. His parents have denied his claims because they look shitty
Well,
in the
yeah.
story.
Oh yeah, they look real bad.
But several of his friends confirmed to Dan Savage, said, no, this is the real story. And it's
Wow.
very sweet. Joel wrote a very sweet note. He said, I'm blown away by the support and words of encouragement from friends, supporters, and strangers. When I first heard the words, it gets better, I was skeptical. I didn't believe it was possible. I thought I would be stuck in my small town, surrounded by people who didn't like me, doing something I hated. Now I will have the chance to make something of myself, and all of you have had a huge part in making that dream a reality. Now, they've passed the goal, so Andrew and Dan Savage have both asked that people donate to the Ali Forner Center or the Point Foundation to help other kids like Joel in
Andrew,
similar
out 100.
situation. Like, Really, like these are the kids. I mean, I love these stories.
Yeah.
It's really
Because that's horrifying. We've talked so much about reparative therapy on the show. Of course, Southern Baptist Sissies and our own personal journeys that we've shared a lot about through that process
Yeah.
of people that taught hate and shame.
Yeah.
And it's important with all of our progress and being able to talk about how there's now thousands of famous, successful LGBT people, that there are still kids that look at those lists and read those magazines and think that life is so far away. I don't know that I'll ever get there.
Right.
Because here's a kid with access to the internet, going to a big college and still saying, I didn't know that it would get better for me.
Yeah.
So that's why we tell those stories.
Yeah.
Yes, that's him.
And it's
very
so
cute.
refreshing to see a story that ends like this and
Yes.
doesn't end in
Right.
tragedy. You know?
Yeah.
But and a reminder that the reason we talk about it, the reason it's important that both of you stand up as a singer-songwriter and former child star and as a writer and director and Disney star and stand up and say, like, I'm willing to openly talk about who I am. Like, you're in my Out 100. Like,
Yeah.
that's important. Kids look at you guys. Well, think about your fan bases. You have kids watching Full House reruns today.
It's
You get
true.
messages all the time.
Yeah.
All those kids that watch the Disney Channel, all those little boys that look at all of you guys and look at, like,
Yeah.
of course, the female stars, but, like, knowing you being able to proudly say, this is who I am,
Yeah.
is a continuous example to
Yeah.
kids like this.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh,
just my
thanks,
little
Emerson.
applause to you guys.
Good for
See,
Andrew. I wanna see him
sometimes
dance.
I'm nice.
Yeah. It was nice while it lasted.
I mean, take it while you can
is
get
it
it.
Christmas already?
We'll snip that quote. That's your presents.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's your presents.
Compliment.
I don't do birthday presents.
Okay, go.
But there are terrible people out there like our
I
next
told you.
story.
Okay, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Louis Gohmert is a Republican representative.
Mm-hmm.
He delivered the convocation at Liberty University last week and once again he's a congressman, requesting a congressional study that strands gay and lesbian couples on 2 deserted islands, 4 couples for 100 years, to prove that homosexuality is against nature. He says, let's just take a totally secular approach to this. He's not trying to convince you on the Bible, which I guess is progress. Congress is good about having studies. How about if we take 4 heterosexual couples and put them on an island where they have everything they need to live and exist? And we take 4 couples of just men and put them on an island where they have all they need to survive. And then let's take 4 couples of just women, blah, blah, blah. And then let's come back in 100 years and see which one nature favors.
I think it's a good idea. We'll just all check back in 100 years and
Totally.
see what happens.
Well, everybody be there. Louis,
reasonable.
I feel like he's volunteering.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, let's send him off to an island. He'll be one of the straight couples.
I
Goodbye.
find that argument so weirdly non-logical because the point of equality isn't like that we are the biological imperative. I'm fine with admitting that as a gay man, part of my contribution to like the natural wonder of the world isn't a biological imperative to reproduce and continue populating the planet.
Right.
No offense.
Right.
Like, what are we at? Like 9 billion or whatever now? I
Yeah.
feel like straight people like have that.
Yeah, they're good.
And
They're
I feel
doing
like
great.
we're definitely not a threat to the continuation of the species.
I completely believe that 100%.
So, like, what's your point? And also, if it's only 4 couples, I was going to make a little flowchart to show, like, in 100 years, those straight people that survived are going to be so, like, mentally janky.
Oh.
Because, like, you're going to be inbreeding so fast. Like, your first generation, you can do,
Will be
like,
fine.
oh, we
Yeah.
only had. But, like, after that, if y'all don't keep a serious flowchart of who came from who,
Ooh, that's gonna get messy.
the
Yeah.
incest realness
yeah.
will happen so fast.
Is anyone taking this seriously at all?
Of course not. But
Okay.
he means it as a logical example of like, and people say that sometimes. They're like, it's proof that you're not equal because in nature you don't continue the species. And I'm like, if every single animal in every single species entire contribution is purely propagation of the species, the points of being human beings at the top of the pyramid is that we have things like ideas, like non-physical concepts. We have
No.
advanced beyond simply needing
don't.
to procreate.
No, all of
He
us
has
in here
ideas.
don't. Straight people do.
Right. I'm like, if that's all you're trying to accomplish in life, I guess, yay, you and a bottle of Boone's under the bleachers can get it done. But I have
Right.
loftier goals in my life.
Yeah.
Totally.
I want to get to 10,000 Instagram followers.
I mean,
I've
You can
really
do it. I
important goals.
to
know
have
it's going to
goals.
happen.
Good to have goals.
No, I'm kidding, but yes, like, how ridiculous are you, sir? Like,
Yeah.
okay, like, yay, you won your fictional
All right,
argument. Also, I feel like on that one island, there's going to be like, out of the 8 lesbians, like 7 of them crotchety, 107, like living forever. Like, they figured out like the natural secrets. They may not have had more babies, but I bet all of them will still be there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. at
Like
least
secret
one.
of life. Like
Oh,
we
you
built
know.
a permanent civilization.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
8 of them with like one of those Aztec pyramids.
We should do it, actually. This actually sounds interesting. Let's definitely do it.
I volunteer as tribute. I
Yeah.
don't.
No, no.
I don't. Well, anybody that's interested, you can. I'm sure you can find Louis Gohmert on Twitter and
I'm
let him know that you're happy to
sure.
Oh,
volunteer. All right, flashing back to nonsense. Vivica Fox.
Vivica A. Fox.
The Vivica A.
Ms.
Fox.
Vivica.
She like broke the world on Sunday night on
She
Watch What
did.
Happens Live, Andy Cohen's after show on Bravo that I watched because I love catching up with the world of Bravo. Andy Cohen, just in a typical interview situation, asked her, what were your thoughts when 50 Cent blamed the Empire season ratings dip on gay stuff? Because Vivica's coming on to Empire as Cookie's sister.
That makes the most sense.
With the
That's good.
potential for like a spinoff about like another part of Cookie's
Oh, yeah,
family.
that's right. That's right.
I
They
would
did
watch
tease that.
a 2-hour block of Empire and then Vivica A. Fox, the story.
Ooh,
I don't even
yes.
care what else is it about.
Yeah.
Well, Vivica goes, first of all, you know, the pot called the kettle black is all I'm saying. Now, I don't know what Andy expected her response to be. They dated 12 years ago, so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
she could say some shady things.
Yeah.
That is not what he was expecting because his jaw dropped. Candy Burris
Yeah.
from Real Housewives of Atlanta, her jaw dropped.
Yes.
And Andy asked for clarification. Are you really saying your ex-boyfriend is gay? She sat silently and brushed her hair to the side. I made it into a GIF because I loved it so much. She just went,
Oh, I need to peep this.
and he was like,
yeah.
no, we like have to really get to this. And he asked her for clarification again. And she said, no, he's just seems like he's got something that's not quite clear. They were talking about an XXL cover of 50 Cent and Soulja Boy that's a little homoerotic in some
Right.
people's perception. We've got it up in the chat room for you to see. And she said, he just looked like a booty snatcher on that one to me.
That was my favorite
Hashtag
part of
booty
the whole
snatcher.
just booty
Aren't we all?
snatcher.
Well, then the internet lost its mind. Vivica A. Fox was trending immediately. Soulja Boy posted a picture of her on Instagram, not the most flattering photo she's ever taken, and said, everybody hit up this cougar. She's single and ready to mingle. 1-800-Granny desperate for attention. 50 Cent regrammed it and said this, making it worse.
Oh, come on.
Oh no, now she thinks I'm gay because I let her lick my ass. Laughing my ass off. Wait, I didn't want her to. She forced me. My hands were tied. 50 Shades of Grey.
I have so much to say about this.
Oh,
Go.
First of all,
Tell us the story.
First of all, that quote makes absolutely no sense. I don't think anyone can force 50 Cent to do anything.
Also,
really. But-
Ira, who I love, writes for Broadly or for Vice, I think now. He did a whole thing of like tweets from 50 Cent's timeline over the years of like
Yes.
him talking about how much he loves having his ass licked.
oh,
really?
Yes.
Well, what I was about to
All
say
right.
is it's like a thou doth protest too much kind of possible situation. Whatever. I mean, like I don't know him. You know what I mean? But he tweeted something one time that said, if you don't like to eat pussy, you might as well kill yourself.
Uh-huh.
And my brother responded to it. I think he retweeted it or something and put like a sad face. And I forget, I should know exactly. 50 Cent responded to it or something. It was like, it said, lol, kill yourself, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then immediately deleted it and that kind of thing.
Right.
And when that, I mean, like, why are you tweeting shit like that?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, come
Yeah.
on, dude. Like, I feel like he has such a hang up about it. You know?
Well, I mean, hey, he got shot
That's why I'm
87
thinking-
times or whatever.
Sure, if he has a hang up about it and like Vivica knows like that's where he's weak to like hit him where
She
he's weak
pushed
on
that
TV.
button.
Well,
you know
I
what
mean, I feel like that's clearly what happened. I don't think she
Yeah.
really, like, she was like, oh,
Yeah.
you're going to give me a moment? I'll get some press.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
not new to this industry.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
She's like, I'm going to say it in a way that I can say it,
Yeah.
but like not say it,
Right.
but like make people think it. And
Y'all, are
everybody's
we in
talking
high
about it.
school right now? Is that
I
what's
mean,
going
I hope
on?
so. Look, there's certain parts of like celebrity high school Hollywood that I live for. When celebrities start fighting on Twitter, I get out the popcorn and I start reading them aloud.
That's
yeah,
true.
It's really fun.
So I'm like, if you're dumb enough to
That's
air your
true.
dirty laundry with somebody else with 10 million followers
Seriously.
on Twitter, you deserve
Oh, yeah,
everyone
that's
talking
right.
about it.
yeah,
Remember
you're
that,
asking for
the Nikki
it.
Taylor day? I think
Yes.
I was here for that
Yes,
day.
we talked about that because I'm
Yeah.
like, all of you got publicists and people. If you wanted to text her, you could.
Yeah.
So y'all want to do this in public, which means you want us to see it. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about it.
You're asking us to watch.
The parts of my business I don't want you to talk about, I
Right.
don't tweet about.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
end.
Right.
So, and if 50 wanted to be the bigger person, he could have not said anything too. And then she looks desperate for like throwing shade at him for a 12-year-old relationship
Right.
because he played back into it. She's like, got you,
Right.
snatch that.
And she did it so elegantly too.
And I love her for it.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what she's going to bring to Empire the sequel, bring it on now.
Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
In other tragic news and genuinely relevant and important religious news, we talk a lot about because it's an important issue in our community. The Mormons continue their trail down the "We Hate LGBT People" line. In a new video this week, Elder D. Todd Christofferson of the Quorum of 12 Apostles of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I think that's like the skull and bones of the Mormons.
Sounds like a planet.
It's like the
I
12,
mean-
like, you know, it's like the 500-year-old vampires that are always like meet in secret in the dark at night and like
Quorum of
feed
the
on
12
a young
apostles.
nubile virgin or something. I think that's how it works. Don't quote me on that. Allegedly,
right.
whatever you're
Allegedly.
supposed to say. Whatever. I came for Scientology on the People's Couch last week on television. I feel invincible with religion.
I mean,
Yeah.
Said that Speaking about a recent handbook change in church policy affecting same-sex couples and their children, the church announced that it would deny baptism to children of same-sex couples, and for the first time listed same-sex marriage under the definition of apostasy, the rejection of church teachings. For those not super familiar, apostasy are like the worst sins to Mormons, like... For like Baptist and people, like all sins are equal, except they're not, because gay is worse, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the Mormons just admit
true.
that. They're just admitting that now that like gay is worse.
Right.
But they have like apostasy is like actually worst. It's like you are to be shunned from the church. You can't be involved. Like it's you can't be a member of the church. There's like sins you can get forgiven for and stay, but it's like you can't be a member.
Right.
What
with
else
these
is on
things.
that list?
I don't know. That's the only one I care about. They get their own planet when they die.
It's true.
That's like, I don't know. I believe.
Quorum,
Like, I
that's
learned
the
everything
planet,
I know
right?
about Mormons from the Book of Mormon, which is probably not the best.
The
Yeah.
musical.
I'm kidding. I know they're wonderfully nice ones and they do lots more good deeds than lots of Christian.
David
like
Archuleta's one, right?
Southern Baptist, I know.
Yes. Yes, Michael
That,
Fortunato
that
is
alleged queen. Like,
I love him.
allegedly. I do too. I feel like lots of other boys would too if he would just talk about it.
So cute. Yeah.
Those lips, right? That's what it is.
The voice.
Oh.
Imagine.
No,
Hashtag
he,
booty
he
snatcher.
he forgot the words to imagine.
But
Did he?
I'll never forgive him for
But
that.
When?
Imagine on
We'll
American
talk about
Idol.
it on the drive back.
But genuinely, like the actually important part of this is so now not only are we rejecting LGBT people, that's not new for the Mormon Church. It's always been like the impulse being LGBT isn't the sin, but the action is. So you can be like a celibate, like non-practicing.
Yeah.
But this is like same-sex couples. Their children cannot be baptized into the church until they're 18s and adults and can be members. So it's a weird thing where it's like that's a weird backwards rejection of like the sins of the parents visited on the children, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's
like-
really weird.
That's an interesting specific step to go far enough to say, sorry about you. I hope you don't die before you're 18 because then you can decide to be baptized and be in the church.
Cold.
Well, is it the same thing for like people who've committed adultery? Like your kids can then not be baptized. Like
Maybe
Right.
that's
do
not
they hold the
apostasy
same.
or
Oh, maybe
whatever.
it's not.
Yeah,
Apostasy.
if you were born out of wedlock, that's an affair that you can be forgiven for, like Kim Davis. Like you can have like had sex out of wedlock, but that's a sin you can be forgiven of. It's sort of like the idea that some people describe as like if you are stating that you are intentionally intending to continue sinning, are you really saved because you didn't really give up all of your sin to accept whatever the beliefs
Right.
are? That's
Yeah.
sort of that is people's issue in some faiths with the concept of being gay, because it's like saying every day I know I'm going to keep sinning, as opposed to like even if you steal something every day, if you feel bad after it every time, you're not
Yeah.
really definitely planning to steal something tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I just think it's tragic because literally it's like we're punishing babies.
Right.
Yeah.
So good job.
Way
Be
to
a
go.
Mormon.
Way to go, Quorum.
Good luck with that.
I just want to say it a lot.
I found another interesting story on the interweb today.
Yes.
The story, a Reddit user shared that he won the lottery, $15 million. Wow. Like never has to work again if he spends it wisely.
Yeah.
But he shared a very interesting story. He's 29 years old, his parents, and he has several sisters, and they're not close because he did not speak to them from the ages of 15 to 20 because they cast him out for being gay.
Yeah.
They have a cordial relationship now, and his parents want some of the money. He was like, I want to like buy them a house and things, but they told me that I owe them a quarter of it.
Oh, really?
Oh.
And what are your thoughts?
He doesn't owe them shit.
Yeah.
Right?
No, not at all.
Not a damn penny. He's a grown ass man.
Yeah.
Like, that's
If he was-
awkward.
If he was already planning to give them some of it, like, just be thankful.
Thank you for your free money.
Yeah.
Girl, he's trying to buy you a house. Like that's.
And also, like, even shadier, because he was like, I moved an hour away because my father's distant and my mother's like disapproving.
Sorry about it. Sorry, not
I'm like,
sorry.
maybe you should have been nicer.
Yeah.
Is the
That's
story.
So crazy.
And it'd be one thing if he said he would buy That's I didn't read.
He
it.
is planning to do something for them.
Like, come on. It's not like he's being like, no, I don't even have parents. I'm rich now. It's not even that situation.
And their response is, that's not enough. And because here's the shady thing. Like, one of my personal goals in life is really, like, my fantasy, like, if I could get cast on the big series, if I get my, like, scandal acting role or whatever it is, I want to buy my parents, like, the house of their dreams, like, whatever they
Yeah,
want. They have
right.
they have a house they like now, but, like, that's
Yeah.
my, like, I've made it, like,
Definitely.
in repayment for, like, 18 years of, like, paying for everything and raising me, and the, like, all the years since of like the trauma that I create by like saying
Yeah.
ridiculous things on the internet and television. I like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
But there is a part of like someone that demands a gift,
Uh-uh.
then I don't want to give it to you
Ooh,
anymore.
yeah, no. Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
I'd be the same way. It's like, because I would be like, I'm going to rent a house in Lake Como for the entire summer and buy all of my friends' first class tickets to like come. If somebody was like, I really want to come in like September. Sorry, I'm doing it for the summer.
I
You
know,
don't get
right?
to come anymore.
Like, now I don't want you to come.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Because I sort of feel like I would say you should like give your parents a bunch of money, like, or find out how much it costs to raise you for 18 years. You can find that on the internet somewhere, I'm sure, and be like, here, I'm done with you. But like the minute that they're like, you owe it to us, like, ooh,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
That's so gross.
No, it's really gross.
Yeah.
I'm like, I
Fair
don't
parents.
know
Not
them,
okay.
but just that reaction makes me think you also have terrible parents.
Yeah.
Because like we joke about money and it'd be fun and I'd love to have a ton of it and like be able to like pay for everything for my friends all the time. And,
Right.
But like I also like I actually don't care. Like what I want to do is like work stuff and art stuff and passion stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To care enough about money to tell someone you owe.
Plus, is that like the condition of parenting
Bring
now?
money
You
to
know what I mean?
me?
It's like, I'm going to raise you, but if you ever are rich, you owe me.
Right,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
is there a price tag?
is that how it
parenting
is?
now?
Conditional parenting? Is that what's going on?
Be like that's the thing. Also, and like good kids would want to. Everyone I
Yeah,
know
of
that
course.
has
Yeah.
nobody's parents are
Absolutely.
perfect and they're not supposed to be. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be, but everybody I know who has great like that would be is your first impulse. The first people
Definitely.
you want to do something for
Yes.
is
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
So like you're terrible parents.
Right.
Good for you, sir. Dear 29-year-old anonymous man, I say keep it all yourself.
Yeah, as you should.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Right?
In other nonsense news, Justin Bieber tried to come for Bette Midler. Did we all see this happen?
This was amazing.
I read about it, but I didn't see exactly
Here's the
what
story.
he said.
This was awesome.
After Justin Bieber's dad tweeted, after his penis ended up on the internet,
Right.
What do you feed that thing? #proud dad. Bette Midler tweeted, Justin Bieber's dad tweeted he's proud of his son's penis size. I think the biggest dick in this situation is the dad who abandoned his son.
Okay. Mic drop.
So, yes. Well, Justin Bieber's been doing the like penis apology tour or whatever. He was on Ellen talking about it.
Yeah, I was like, Ellen, let it go.
The penis apology.
And, well, no, he wants to. Come on.
Are
He
you
wants to talk
sure?
about it. Yes.
I don't know.
He's tiny. Like a tiny person.
Yeah. I
And
know
so,
him.
like, but so proportionally, like, it's like, I'm like, yeah, but in pictures, I think he looks way smaller in person than he looks in photos without other people
Yeah,
around.
he's yeah.
So it's like, I feel like it was a good showing,
Yeah.
was the reaction. So he's like happy to talk about it.
Yeah.
Nobody
I
was
guess
mad.
the album comes out this week. It makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he did a Billboard magazine interview and tried to shade Bette Midler this way. This Brit Midler, I don't even know who that is, honestly.
I
I
know
wanted
Blake
to
isn't here for
immediately
this.
say, who is this lady? But then I'm just fueling this negativity. I do feel the photo was an invasion of my privacy. I felt super violated. My dad made light of it, but I don't think that's sick and twisted. It was funny. Dads are going to be dads. Definitely sure my dad would never talk about my penis. I'm 100% sure.
I'm
Definitely
100%
not.
sure that
100%
mine
sure,
would
yeah.
not either.
Yeah.
Under any circumstance.
Under any
No, I don't wanna
circumstance.
For
talk
any
about this
reason.
anymore.
But this Brit Midler, I feel like he was so proud of that. Like, oh
probably
look,
was.
I'm gonna like not. I like couldn't even be bothered to like figure out the name.
Yeah.
Girl.
And then so she came back with him on Twitter.
I know, Blake. I know
you
Blake
come
is
for Bette.
Blake is so not here for this.
She tweeted back, Brit Midler. I don't know who that is either, but damn that bitch. And then immediately someone created the Brit Midler Twitter account, and the first tweet was, for the record, it was cold there in Bette Midler's shadow.
Which Brit Midler for the win.
Sometimes I love the internet.
and
Sometimes
Bette
I
Midler
love it.
tweeted back, she was like, I peed.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
I love that Bette Midler's like gets Twitter.
Oh, she
Right.
and like
totally
is
gets
in it.
Twitter.
Like
Yeah.
Bette Midler and Cher. Like
That's
I
so
love
exciting. Share, come on, you guys.
but in the
I
best
mean,
possible way. Like she
Share
just
on
rants
Twitter is just
because
a
she doesn't
total
care.
blast. No,
like
she doesn't give a fuck.
that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Like people like because I want to be like that old guy that's like, what are the kids doing today? Fine, I'll share whatever. Here it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I love that.
Bette's Twitter is pretty great though.
Yes.
Like, she comes for people.
I
when
don't
they-
follow her. I should follow
you
her.
should.
It's
It's
entertaining.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
but
see
she also
people
like
retweeting her all the time.
posts things that are very relevant and very right now. Like,
Yeah.
she has a great sort of spin on pop culture.
Yeah, it's not just like here's where I'm performing tonight.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like shiny happy people. It's like
No,
thoughts
she
and
like
opinions and substance.
She'll tell it like she sees
Good
it.
for her.
and funny.
Good for
but I
her.
was like, Justin, whoever like
The thing is with him, you know what I mean? Like, we're all assholes when we're that age. Give us millions and millions of dollars
It's
and
true.
no one telling you no. This is what's going to fucking happen.
Yeah.
I feel like
Not like that's
that-
an excuse, but
I was
It's
gonna
a
say,
reason.
that's
No.
because I'm kind of like, when I see a headline or whatever, I'm like, Justin, what do you do? And like, because I go to a Bible study and he goes there as well. You know what I mean? And no one's making him go to that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's not like we get our picture taken when we're there or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but he's, you know, I forget how old, he's 22 maybe, I think.
3 now?
I don't think, I think
Not
he's
yet?
maybe 22. But we're all assholes when we're that age. So my take on it now is I just like, oh, Justin, come on, man. Or like roll my eyes, like that kind of thing. Like just be quiet.
I respect your opinion. I just disagree. I know lots of 22-year-olds that weren't assholes is part of my problem.
Yeah.
That's true.
I get, like, there becomes a reflection of who you are as a person.
I feel defensive of that kind of situation because I happen to know, look at me, I happen to know a lot of people who grew up in an environment that isn't considered normal, where it's like you don't go to high school, you don't, you know, socially acclimate like everyone else gets to, and so there's the way that you view the world is skewed.
Yes,
and I don't feel like God designed us to be able to grow up in that kind of situation and handle it in a good way. Looking at, you know, like anyone who grew up, you know, I mean, well, I guess you grew up in the.
But that was going to be my counter. Is that like the difference between Amanda Bynes and Blake? Like. Certainly the level of celebrity
is true. Maybe I'm biting my tongue here.
The level of celebrities are no, I don't think this is terrible. And I think he's been doing much better at like grow. Like I think he has been much better. Like I think the peeing in the bucket, like I think we're past the
we're past that.
The juvenile like the fun juvenile delinquent phase.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny that at this point like your response is to like, oh, pretend like I don't know who that old person is because she's not relevant.
Right.
It's such an like eye rolly like
grow up, dude.
Because it makes you look a little bit ignorant because like she's also a musical icon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like that.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's so stupid. I'm like, what? Just shut up. Don't. Try
I
to be
would get
funny.
it if
Don't
it
try
were
to be
like,
cool.
you know, it's like the mayor of Seattle. Like he performed there and he was like, I don't know who that person is. That's fine. But like,
But you're talking about an icon in your own field.
I'm sure he doesn't know.
That's
though.
all.
Don't look stupid.
Yeah, you're right.
But I found it hilarious, and I love that she thought it was fun. It's definitely super not
Snaps
serious.
to her for sure. I'm gonna have to follow her on Twitter immediately.
She could not care less.
No, and I will say in going with your defense, I do think he has done that. There is definitely evidence of growth,
Right.
That I think is natural for like young entertainers.
What I'm taking away from this conversation today is I need to follow Bette Midler on Twitter. And
I feel like
Queen.
that's a really good choice.
So
And there
that's
is evidence of growth. We saw it on the internet.
Oh,
Full circle moment.
oh,
I
there
couldn't
it is.
resist.
There she is.
I couldn't resist.
Hey, girl, hey. Super fast headline, because this is terrifying. Betty Peters is an Alabama Board of Education member. Just remember that.
Okay.
She's a Board of Education member in Alabama. Mm-hmm. She recently accused homosexualists of attempting to influence school children through the Common Core program.
What is a homosexualist?
That's what like weird old Southern ladies, I believe, think that homosexuals are. It just sounds worse. So
that
it
is
sounds better,
better.
but worse.
Sexualists.
yeah.
She said, I understand. I believe that she said it this way. I understand Alabama, Arkansas, and Mississippi are the 3 southern states targeted by the radical left homosexualists to change our students' perspective. We have gone past gay, lesbian, and bisexual, and we're now into gender fluid spectrum. I was impressed she knew what that was. As I said when I first campaigned, and we've said it every time since, we need to get back to the basics. Reading, writing, and arithmetic from first grade on. We need to be teaching the C part, which is Christian values, not Muslim values, not transgender values. We need to be teaching the old biblical values. This is not just some crazy woman. She is on the Board of Education in
Education.
Alabama.
Oh, man. That's my favorite voice I've
What's
ever
a
heard, by the way.
transgender value?
That was a new one. I just came in the. I know. I was like, that's like left-handed values, like or like tall people values. What does that even mean? I hate her. And finally, getting to actual trendsetter news. Really exciting thing. I found this really interesting. Carla Lewis is a 44-year-old trans woman and veteran and mother of 2, and she shared a photo on Facebook that I found really powerful. She's wearing a t-shirt, and it just says, transgender veteran, I fought for your right to hate me. She said, here's the message I want others to glean from the shirt. Whenever a citizen volunteers for the armed services, they immediately, at that very moment, make the conscious decision that they will sacrifice their life if it means securing freedom for their fellow citizens. And I think that's really important when we look at all that's happened. You know, related to the HERO ordinance we've been talking about in Houston that didn't pass, that they got hung up about bathroom predators that don't exist. There was that We Just Need to Pee campaign back in March that Michael Hughes was really involved in. And this great trans entertainer, Kelly Lauren in Chicago, posted this amazing photo that said, Houston, do you really want me in the same restroom as your husband or boyfriend? Do you have that one of her in the bathroom? And I love that. Like, she's this like gorgeous woman. And of course, it's not important that trans women be beautiful women or, you know, or that they pass or that any of that, that is not a part of it and shouldn't be the goal. I'm not saying that with these photos. And Crystal Summers is a huge entertainer in Dallas. And I've been a fan of her since I first started
Yeah.
going to gay bars. She's one of the big entertainers at the Rose Room. And she talked about it on Facebook and said the same thing. When you put up Crystal's 2 photos, one of her just like daily, here I am, a girl like working at the hair salon. She said, so let me get this straight. You ladies in Houston that voted against the ordinance would rather have me in the bathroom peeing with your husbands and boyfriends than in the bathroom with you? Not very smart, Toots, because a lot of those husbands and boyfriends already have a wondering eye. Hashtag I'm just saying. And then put up her glamour shot. Because,
Yes, Crystal.
I mean...
She's gorgeous.
I don't think you want that in a bathroom with a bunch of men with their dicks out. No. Just saying.
No.
That you do not want her in there.
Right.
Good for Carla. That shirt is so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really inspiring. And when you think about, the military is still moving on. And finally, really quickly, checking in with Crazy. The Kill the Gays pastor, Kevin Swanson, hosted this weekend at the Religious Liberties Conference in Iowa 3 of our potential Republican presidential nominee candidates. Ted Cruz, Mike Huckabee, and Bobby Jindal. They were all there. They were all introduced by this man. And this statement, he did not say this like years ago, and they don't know about it, and maybe he doesn't think this anymore. This is what he said this weekend in his keynote speech before he was the person that introduced each one of them and they were okay with it. He said, talking about same-sex marriage, there are families. We're talking Christian families, pastors' families, elders' families from good, godly churches whose sons are rebelling, hanging out with homosexuals, and getting married, and the parents are invited. What would you do if that was the case? Here is what I would do. Sackcloth and ashes at the entrance to the church, and I'd sit in cow manure and I'd spread it all over my body. That is what I would do. I'm not kidding. I'm grieving. I'm mourning. I'm pointing out the problem. It's not a gay time. These are the people with sores, the gaping sores, the sores that are pussy and gross, and people are coming in and carving happy faces on the sores. Don't you dare carve happy faces on open pussy sores. Don't do that. Sackcloth and ashes. That is what America needs. Yes, Leviticus calls for the death penalty for homosexuals. His words, not mine, and I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I am willing to go to jail for standing on the truth of the word of God. Then they ask me, yes, but do you advocate for our civil leaders to do this today? And my answer is no. The discussion concerning capital punishment for homosexuals is not all that important when contrasted with hellfire forever. Why wouldn't you call for it? I say because we need some time for homosexuals to repent. Basically, the only reason he's not calling for the death penalty is to give us time to repent. This is not reflection, and we talk about it all the time. It's not reflective of all Christians, of all Christian believers, of any denomination or faith. But this man spoke, and then after 3 potential presidential candidates allowed him to introduce them, and this is his personal philosophy.
Yeah.
I don't care who
that
you vote
part is
for.
frightening.
I can comprehend the concept of conservative LGBT community members. I know that they exist, but these should not be the candidates, no matter how conservative you are, that you are willing to consider.
No way.
No.
So that is it on Checking In with Crazy. Well, we got to wrap it up because it's been a great old time here on the Gay View. There is a whole lot coming up on UBN Radio. On air with Tony Sweet. Is Jasper on today? Yes, and then Jasper got a repeat today, and Ann Walker on later. The Gay View is fantastic. Blake McIver, thank you for joining us. You have a show this afternoon.
I do. I have my weekly variety show on Facebook. If you go to my Facebook page, Blake McIver Official, you can join me at 5.
And a full hour of live streaming, live performance music, and drinking with special guest Mary-Lane Haskell.
Today. We're doing a Veterans Day special, so it'll be patriotic music.
On Blake McIver Official. And Matthew Scott Montgomery. People can find you on the interweb at...
Yeah, my Instagram is Matthew_Scott_Montgomery. My Twitter is iRobotUJane. I have a series coming out that I'm not allowed to talk about yet, but hopefully it'll be out next year. So follow me on there, and there's more info about that soon.
And of course, you can find me always on Facebook, Emerson Collins Official. You can hate tweet me at actually Emerson. And to all of our veterans, it is Veterans Day, regardless of how or when or why you served, whether overseas, whether in ROTC, whether you were local or weekend. Thank you for your service, for the bravery, for the willingness to fight for the things that we are allowed to argue about because of what you do to defend our countries and our principles. All of our
Sincere
applause,
thank you.
respect, and appreciation to you. Tune in next week.
Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's UBNradio.com.
In the night, I hear him talk, the coldest story ever told. Somewhere far along this road, he lost his soul to a woman so holly.